Good morning, folks. Another beautiful day. About to head out onto the lake. I'm at Clark's Hill Lake in Georgia, on the Georgia side, and targeting crappie today. Gonna head up to the back of a creek and see if I can get on some. So should be fun. A little chilly this morning, but should warm up, be really nice. And yeah, I don't get to fish this lake enough. I really enjoy it when I do get the opportunity to. So. And I get to spend a good amount of time here today, so I'm pretty happy about that. All right, should be fun. Let's get to it. Just got off out of the way of the boat ramp. There's another boat coming in. Didn't have the camera going. Just picked up first little spotted bass, trolling. So hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. That sucker's really in there. Corner of the mouth and that fleshy part that really likes to stick him. There we go. Little guy. Thanks for playing. It's on a little Bobby Garland with this Roadrunner. It's got a little flashy underspin. Air temp's about 39 this morning. It's a little chilly. And I realize I'm not wearing my life jacket. I am staying shallow right now. This was a steep boat ramp. And I had my life jacket perched on my seat. And it fell into the water as I was getting the kayak off the back of the truck, so I'm just letting it dry out. I will put it on, I promise, but it's just soaking wet right now, and so putting it on would, I don't know, just be cold. So also the leads or the plug from my battery cable to my fish finder dipped into the water too, so I'm letting that dry out. So I have no idea what the water temp is right now, but I'll give you an update as soon as I know. That's not a crappie. Oh, that's some good head shaking. I hope that's a bass. Hybrid or striper. Oh, it could be a white bass. Nice. Yeah. Get over here. Beauty. Yeah. Went over a big school, these guys. They're right off of this point. Oops. Wrong way. Look like you've been there before. Why don't we just do this the right way? All right, buddy. Good one. Good one. Well, lots of boats out here. Starting to see more and more striper boats, so I want to get my way kind of back further into the creek. It's still kind of open right now, this part of the lake, so hopefully I can get back to where it's a little bit less populated in terms of number of fishing boats, but that's also a good sign that they're here. They likely know this area a good bit better than me, and it means that there's fish here, but they're all over the place. Oh yeah, something big. Now bigger. Keeping the net up front these days. Get tired. Another one. another hybrid. That's what that last one was too. This one got in a vise. Oh, this is straight up striper. Good one. That's a hybrid. Nice. Boy, he was barely hooked. Good one. Jeez. Should have brought my scale. We're coming over a big bait ball right now, and it looks like there's some fish marked just under it, right just below the bait ball. I mean, they're probably interacting. We'll see. I've got it on down imaging and 2D, so it's got to be pretty darn close to under the boat. Alright, so 2 guide boats just passed me that had quad spider rig or T-bar setups. So I'm gonna keep an eye on where they go. Just saw somebody long lining in the middle of the channel. What I said, where I wasn't seeing fish and I was seeing them up shallow. Looks like they were catching crappie in the middle. All the striper boats are still out here, so I think this is just where people are coming to fish. But I'm definitely going to pay attention to where those crappie guide boats just went. I'd never seen a setup like that before. Alright, further back into this creek I just counted 12 boats all around me. That's, I mean, I fish on Lanier, and that can be pretty crowded. I fished this lake a couple times, and I don't know if I saw 12 boats in the entire day of cruising the entire lake, and that's within boating season. Yep, got one of those Clark Hill slabs. Holy shit. That is probably my PB crappie right there. It was worth the trip down here. Alright, trolling. A little curly tail. Glad I decided to throw the extra rig out there. That one's going back in for sure. Look at that sucker. Going on the stringer. On the blackened chartreuse tail again. That looks like another healthy one. Yep, another good one. So I might be switching everything else over to that as well. Which makes sense, the water's a little bit dingier back here. So, God, good fish. Jeez. Another one for the stringer. Alright, I'm in the back third of this long creek arm. It's pretty wide and it's pretty flat back here. It looks like channel must hug the other side. It's looking like just based on the bank angle on the far side that I'm heading towards, actually. It looks much more gradual over there and much steeper on that side. So I'm thinking the channel swings over there. It's probably where the fish are hanging out. I'm just cruising this side just to make sure that I'm not seeing anything, but when I say that. Oh, I was getting hits there. Well, I'll just keep on keeping on here, but I'm going to check out this side. I am passing over some fish right now, so, you know, it's worth it. Just do a little exploring, maybe zigzagging back and forth, and see if I can land a few more fish here back here. Otherwise, I'm going to head right back to where I was, cruising the middle of the channel with all those other boats. Just kind of take my turn, run in the middle of the channel where I caught two really good sized crappie. They're on the stringer right now. I've switched over to running the black in chartreuse tailed jig on now all of my rigs, even the double. I've got the lower one switched over to that black and chartreuse. The water's a little bit more stained, so I think that's why it's working. I'm gonna stick with it till it's not working, and then I'll try something else. Well, little compared to the monsters I have been catching. That's a keeper. This fat little guy too. I'm gonna measure it just in case, but here guys, you can see that plastic I'm using now. This time on that Roadrunner. Yep, 9 inches. That's a keeper. Definitely the smallest one I've seen today, but the fat little guy. So it'll go on the stringer. Nice. So far it's been a fun multi-species day, and really glad I got into some crappie so far. Hope to get a few more, but I will take whatever's biting. Far fewer boats in the back of this cove. Tells me that either fish are way more spread out. I'm still seeing them, but not getting nearly as many bites back here. And it seems like a lot of these guys are doing one pass and then heading right back out and stopping again right at that kind of a little further out where I was having success with those monsters. So I might do the same thing, but I will do a full pass back here just to do my due diligence. I don't know if I was going over some brush or what, but both front poles were going. I've also got one in the back trolling, and I've caught 2 off of that one, 2 big ones, and another one here. This guy seems like he keeps getting hit, or it's closer to the bottom because it's a double jig. Could be it's bumping random brush pile. Yes, Mr. Osprey, I hear you. It ain't no use if it ain't chartreuse, other than for the stringer. Good one. Alright, got one on. Doesn't feel very big. Nope, little guy. On the top jig, first top jig fish of the day. Not going on the stringer. First one I've caught today that is not going on a stringer. Little guy. Lives to fight another one. So guys, every once in a while, you'll see me, when I've got a fish on, reach down to my fish finder. I'm just hitting a point. Sometimes I'm in between views. Sometimes I don't see anything on a 2D or a down scan or a side scan image, but I've got a fish on. So I mark that point. Could be a fish just swimming by, solitary fish, or it could be fish that my electronics are just missing for whatever reason. So I always like to mark those spots. Right now I was running back over some spots where I just caught my last fish, caught that one. So I'm starting to put together, I now have a cluster of points in this kind of general area. I'm gonna spend some time here, just trolling back and forth. So I'm just taking an opportunity to look at the points I was just talking about that I mark whenever I start getting hit or certainly when I have a fish on. And I'm recognizing now, as I zoom out, the pattern of these points. It looks like it's following, it's not random. Looks like it's probably following where the channel is here, and it's all fairly shallow back here, but this is creek fed or stream fed, so I suspect that this is probably somewhere near a ledge or the thalwag of the creek, and or there is some structure in a linear fashion, but it seems to me like it would make sense that that's a channel or an old road bed or something like that. So I'm going to do another pass going perpendicular to those points, and then I'm actually just going to start running parallel to those points, and to see if maybe that makes sense. Maybe I can pick up some more fish and maybe extend that pattern that I'm seeing. We shall find out. Well, I don't know why the GoPro wouldn't turn on, but got this guy right in the middle of a cluster of points, running down, just as I said, right down the line. Did it again, so, you know, right when I think it's slowing down, I seem to have found, I think, where they're congregating. And it's still, you know, given the fact that it's water temps are starting to come up, they're still hanging out in the middle, and they're not really moving up to the shallows. Now they are in the back of this creek, so I think they are, they're still pre-spawn, still moving. I bet if I just trolled super shallow, there would be there'd be crappie up there as well. I mean, I know that it doesn't all happen all at once for all of them, but yeah, I'm finding a good number of them staged out in the middle, probably ready to go. So far, putting together a pretty good stringer of good sized crappie. So still happy, gonna keep going. I'd like to get a limit if I can. All right, same spot. Keeper. They're loving that chartreuse color today, boys and girls. Nice one. Another good one. Barely hooked. Nice big fat fin on that one. Saw that one hit it, and then it was gone. So I slowed down, actually turned that way and drifted a second and let the slack drop the jig back in the water. Then I cut the direction the other way and did a hard pedal, so to kind of scurry the jig along, get the action going, and maybe make rise, and then all of a sudden it hit again. So yeah, kind of neat way to use the kayak to help me land that one. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. I'll take it. Oh, I thought he got off, but he's still on. Might be a small one. Well, the one downside of trolling is I got two pulls, or two rods snagged, not at the same time, but basically one right after the other. Couldn't undo the snag. I backtracked as much as I could, I still had other lines in, so it was balancing a lot all at once, other boats around me. Oh, so we got a hit. I'll continue that in just a minute. Anyway, had to retie. And I was out of commission there, not fishing for far too long. So that's the one downside. Ooh, the way this sucker's pulling. Oh, he got off. Anyway, man, I got him to the boat. He got off. I think I might circle back. Got another double jig rig going. That was another one on those. I got a little bit heavier jigs now on here, so we'll see if that makes a difference. But yeah, getting hung up's no fun. So broke off 3 jigs, had to retie 3 jigs. The double jig busted, and then another one. That one just got hit, so I like that. Looks like this one is also getting some action. Could be that these heavier jigs are likely dragging bottom a bit more, so I want to stay away from the shoreline. That's where it seems to be the more amount of laydowns. Not a ton of timber in the middle of the channel, which is nice. You can really slow troll. It looks like a lot of things are hanging kind of close to the bottom, so it's nice to be able to, when I see the rods bouncing a little bit, knowing that the jigs are bouncing bottom, they're not likely going to hang up. I got hung up right at the edge there, getting a little bit too close to shoreline. Anyway, we'll just keep going. Of course, right when I'm eating something. Guy's got a little spot on him. Little guy. Probably gonna let him go. Definitely gonna let him go. I don't think he'll measure, but little spot on him. Oh, thanks. Alright, second time I've gotten hit right around here. I did turn around, double back to where I hooked up on this one. So I'll do one more pass this way, turn around, call it a day. Or whatever. Little guy. Boy, I found the land of the dinks over here. The giants are hanging out in the back. Now let's make our way back towards the giants before we call it a day. Tell you what though, I'd like to see the rods bending again. It was a long time in between bites. Now let's get the quality up. This guy back in.